What's the matter? Hats off to you. To thy colors, ochre and Alice blue, we will e'er be faithful and true. Hail, what's the matter? Hail, better we should be in jail. Hey, what's the matter, you? What's the matter? Hats off to you. To thy colors, ochre and Alice blue, we will e'er be faithful and true. Hail, what's the matter? Hail, better we should be in jail. Hey, what's the matter, you?
Our story opens today on the campus of a large Minnesota college, the University of Wassamata. Inside the administration building, an important meeting is taking place.
I don't want to alarm you, gentlemen, but it looks like disaster for what's the matter you.
Well, what's that disaster?
What do you mean?
My good disaster.
What'd he say?
The Chancellor said we're facing disaster.
Gentlemen, unless we do something quickly, we will meet our doom.
But why? Why?
The answer is simple, gentlemen. What does every successful university have that we don't have?
Well-heeled alumni?
Electric light?
The address of the Ford Foundation?
No, a successful football team.
Do we even have a football team? Yes, Wassamata U did have a team of sorts, but it hadn't scored a goal in 22 years.
And it's time we did.
Oh, I don't know. Seems a shame to spoil a perfect record like that. But Coach Rocky Canute had something to say about that.
I move we get the best football team money can buy.
Here, here. But how will we pay for it?
How else? We'll fire a few English teachers. Yeah, who needs them? We all speak English already.
Some of us do, anyway.
You incinerating that I'm dumb?
And so it was settled. 5 professors were sacked, and 5 football scouts were hired.
All right, you guys, I want you to scour the city, comb the countryside, and especially beat the bushes.
Why beat the bushes?
The kind of fellas we want are probably living in them. Now, go on.
The scouts sought high and low for candidates for football glory. They poked into every nook and cranny in the state. A couple of them even went further than that. They got completely lost and as a result wound up in Frostbite Falls, where as fate would have it, Rocket Squirrel chose that moment to say...
Gosh, Bowlwinkle, I'm making a salami souffle and I'm all out of whiffle powder.
Gad, this is fraught with portent.
What's fraught with portent?
This picture, see? There's Eddie Fraught and George Portent. Nice fellers.
Bowlwinkle, I gotta get down to the store and back before the salami souffle flops.
Stop snuffling and speak up.
Well, give me a hand, Bowlwinkle.
Delighted.
Hurry!
Ooh.
And propelled by mighty moose muscle, Rocky Flash cleared a town into the grocery store and back before you could say Jack Robinson.
Jack Robin!
Here I am!
By golly, I couldn't at that.
Of course, all this hadn't gone unnoticed.
You know what this means, Chauncey?
Certainly, a fluffy souffle.
No, it means we found the football sensation of the year.
I think he's too furry for a football. And that tail.
Not the squirrel, the moose.
He's the wrong shape for a football.
But he's the right shape for a passer. Come on.
And the 2 scouts dashed into Bowlwinkle, pen in hand.
Sign here, fella.
It's a college scholarship.
A scholarship?
Certainly, I can see at a glance you're brainy.
Yeah.
You're intelligent.
Yeah.
You're brilliant.
Yeah.
Then why don't you sign?
Okay.
X. Bowlwinkle, you know how to spell your name.
Yeah, but I don't want to look like a show-off.
That's not...
Humble, that's me.
Yeah, but...
Mr. Modesty.
But...
When it comes to humility, I'm the greatest.
So I see.
And so it came to pass that a few days later, Bowlwinkle Moose arrived on the campus of Wassamata U.
It's like a beautiful dream, Rock. There must be a catch in it somewheres.
You sure you got everything, Bowlwinkle?
Well, let's see. I'm wearing my bell-bottom trousers and 3-tone shoes.
Yeah.
I got my ukulele and my hair stickum.
Uh-huh. Do you have your textbooks?
Don't bother me with details, Rock.
Mr. Moose, I'm your counselor. Now, about your classes.
I just wear 'em to read.
No, your classes.
I gotta go to classes?
Of course.
I told you there was a catch in it somewheres.
Now, I'd suggest you take Introduction to Chemical Kinetics, Differential Calculus, and the History of the Peloponnesian Wars.
Take 'em, I can't even pronounce 'em.
Boy, they sound tough.
I'll never have time to play football.
Oh, you're a football player?
The Frostbite Falls Flash. Want to see my clippings?
From your last game?
No, from my last haircut.
It won't be necessary. You'll take the regular classes for an athletic scholarship.
Which are?
Personal grooming, crocheting, and reading modern classics.
That last one sounds tough. What modern classic do I have to read?
Dick and Jane at the Seashore.
Well, that's more like it.
I'm afraid so.
Well, how you making out, Flash?
Just dandy fool, Mr. Scout.
You know who this is?
Of course. the scoutmaster.
No, this is our coach, Rocky Canute. Put it there, pal.
Oh, thanks a mill. It was getting a mite heavy.
Maybe you better suit up, Moose. Well, let's see you throw one, Moose.
Throw a game already? I haven't even started practicing yet.
Not a game, a pass. Let's see you throw a forward pass.
Okay. How's this?
And Bowlwinkle faded back, cocked his arm, and fired a forward pass that traveled a miserable 10 feet and fell to the ground.
That's a forward pass.
It went forward, didn't it?
Turn in your suit, Moose.
No, wait. I think I know what's wrong, Coach. Let me send her the ball.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, hut!
Now, Bowlwinkle, Ellie!
Well, it was the alley-oop that did it. The football zoomed into the air, down the field, over the goalpost, out of the stadium, and across the campus toward the administration building. But passing wasn't Bowlwinkle's only football talent. When he put his head down and charged, he could take out one whole side of the opposing line.
That's what I like, a player who uses his head.
It's also good for hanging hats on.
Came time for Wasamatayu's first game with the Watchmakers Technical Institute.
Or as it is known, tick-tock-tick.
It wasn't a game. It was a slaughter.
Ellie!
Ooh!
Ellie!
A minute before the end of the game, with Wasamatayu leading 66-0, Coach Canute took Bowlwinkle out. Immediately, things were different. In the next 60 seconds, Tick-Tock-Tick scored 60 points. But then the final gun sounded. Well, a big upset like that didn't go unnoticed.
Wow! Look what the newspapers say about the game, Rock.
I don't see anything.
Look down here. Wasamata 66, tick-tock 60.
The type's too small for me to read.
But as the season progressed, the headlines got bigger and bigger.
Wasamata 90. Barely normal, 0.
Wasamata 89, Purdy Polly 0.
Wasamata 150. DeQuoin's Grammar School 0.
Little mix-up in the schedule there.
Wasamata was the only team in the nation which was undefeated and untied.
Not untied, we're just a little loose is all.
But on television, every silver lining has a dark cloud, and our show is no different. For in a downtown bat cave in a large city, some professional gamblers were posting betting odds on next week's game.
Oh, boy. You see the odds on Wasamata 200 to 1.
Incredible.
Well, Natasha, this is it. This is the time for me to turn over a new leaf.
What?
You know how I am, honey bun. Always destroying things, wrecking them, smashing them up.
Yes.
Well, now I'm going to do just the opposite of breaking things.
You mean?
Yes. I'm going to fix a game.
Super Bowlwinkle Show will be right back.
Well, Natasha, it's great to be back on the campus.
Back? Boris, you went to college? Penn State?
No, State Penn.
But how are we going to convince Moose he should lose a football game?
We got secret weapon, honey bun.
Oh, I love secrets. Let's see.
Here is secret weapon.
Boris, is me.
And thus it was that next day when Bowlwinkle and Rocky left the practice field, they were confronted by a weeping figure.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
Hold it, Bowlwinkle. That sounds like a lady in distress.
So?
Gee, didn't you ever read the Hero's Handbook?
I can never get past the picture of General MacArthur on the cover.
Well, Chapter 2 says we should always help ladies in distress.
Hi there, lady. Are you in distress?
This dress, that dress, who cares? I'm distraught.
Do we help ladies in distraught?
What's the trouble?
It's about next Saturday's game.
With Hard Knocks College. Don't worry, we'll mobilize them.
That's just it. My little brother is on that team.
Your brother?
Crazy Legs Kalbfuss. And if Hard Knocks doesn't win Saturday, they'll throw him off the team.
Gee.
They'll take away his sweater.
And it's turning cool, too.
They won't even let him watch American Bandstand.
Is there no pity anywhere?
So, you're great, big, wonderful Moose.
That's me, all right.
Maybe you could see to it that Hard Knocks wins next Saturday.
Why not?
Bowlwinkle, you can't do that.
I'm supposed to help ladies in distress.
But Chapter 3 says you never throw a game.
Well, if you read your chapter, I'll read mine. what was that you called me, Missy?
A great, big, wonderful schnook.
Sounds different this time.
Well, has Bowlwinkle fallen prey to Boris and Natasha's vile scheme so quickly? Well, that did it. The following Saturday, Bowlwinkle just wasn't playing his usual game. At the end of 3 quarters, the score was still 0-0.
Boo!
Bowlwinkle, you fumbled.
I bet those eyelashes are 2 inches long.
As a matter of fact, the only reason Hard Knocks hadn't scored was that they were almost as bad a team as Watamata.
2-7 hike.
Bowlwinkle, you missed him.
Go on, Whizzer. You're in the clear.
And he was too, but unfortunately, in donning his uniform, Whizzer Black had inadvertently tied together the laces of his right and left shoes. As a result...
Boy, that's a lucky break.
Eyelashes must be 3 inches long.
Hey, you know who we haven't seen on the field yet?
Among others, Prince Suvanafuma.
No, Crazy Legs Kalbfuss.
Probably saving him for the last quarter.
This is the last quarter.
Maybe they're 4 inches long.
What are?
Miriam's eyelashes. See?
Where?
There in the end zone behind us.
Sure enough, Miriam Kalbfuss
Or as we know her, Natasha Fatah.
was in the stands cheering for Hard Knocks.
Kill the moose!
And look who's beside her.
Crazy Legs. It was a trick.
Signals. 1, 2, 3, help!
Oh, what a dirty guy. I'll get you, Crazy Legs.
Bowlwinkle, no! You're running the wrong way!
Nobody can make a monkey's uncle out of Bowlwinkle, Jay.
Oh, boy!
You know, Booby, I don't like the look in his eye.
I told you Moose had no sense of humor.
Quick as a flash, Boris slipped out of his seat and disappeared into the crowd.
Where'd he go?
Bowlwinkle, look out!
Yes, by now, the mighty Moose stood at the 1-foot line, just 12 inches away from scoring the winning goal for his opponents, with a horde of tacklers coming after him. But just then...
Bye-bye, bird brain.
Yes, Boris popped into sight, clear at the other end of the stadium.
Oh, Baz Fez.
Things had happened fast and furious.
I'm fast and he's furious.
So angry was Bowlwinkle that he looked around for something to throw at the fleeting Boris. There was only one thing handy, the football. He hurled it just as he was hit by a cloud of tacklers. The ball zoomed over the heads of the astonished players. It was clearly headed right out of the stadium. But just as it reached the end zone, a furry streak intercepted it.
It's a touchdown. We win! Yay!
Let that be a lesson to you, Bowlwinkle. Always play your best game no matter what the provocation.
Yeah, what the provocation, I always say.
And meanwhile, what of those 2 heels without souls, Boris and Natasha?
Yes, what of us, darling?
Natasha, there's only one way to fix the game and beat that idiot Moose.
And that is?
We got to get our own football team.
And within a few days, Boris had assembled the meanest, toughest gang of rascals and rogues in the state, the Mud City Manglers.
Look at them, Natasha.
Must I, darling? I just had lunch.
And wait till you meet the coach.
Darling, who could be mean and cruel enough to coach this mob of killers?
Who else?
You don't mean.
All right, team, a little pep up. Last man out of the huddle is the first man dead.
Boris is fearless leader.
Yeah, he's doing a guest shot in this sequence.
A guest shot?
There goes a guest now.
Achtung! Tackle practice. I want you to tackle that dummy as if it were a what's the matter you runner. Go. Terrible. Awful.
Fearless leader, all the sand is running out of the tackling dummy.
All right, which one of you stabbed the tackling dummy in the back?
It was me.
You stabbed a defenseless dummy in the back?
Yeah, what of it?
Well, congratulations, my boy. You're my kind of folks. From now on, you're captain of the team.
Meanwhile, in the chancellor's office at Wasamata U...
Hey, you guys.
Yes, Coach Canute.
I got a letter here from a team I never heard of, challenging us to a game.
What's the team?
The Mud City Manglers.
No. Challenge game? No.
They'll pay us $1,000.
It's a deal. And so in a short while, the wire services were buzzing with the news.
Mud City? Never heard of them.
Here's the picture of the team.
How do they look?
They sure got funny-looking helmets on.
Helmets, nothing. That's hair. Bowlwinkle, those are girls.
Yes, to drive the odds even higher, the wily Boris had dressed his entire team in curly wigs and midi blouses.
Bowlwinkle, this is terrible.
It is?
What kind of game can you play with girls?
Boy, this really is a children's show, isn't it? Parcheesi, of course.
And on the way to the football field, Boris and Natasha dashed into an illegal betting parlor.
Okay, Manny, what's the odds on the big conflict?
World War III, 6-5 and pick 'em.
No, the Wasamata game.
Oh, an unbeaten team playing a bunch of girls? 500-1 on Wasamata.
I'll just take me some of that. I'll bet all this on Mud City.
And I'll bet all this.
Fearless leader, where did you get all the loot?
Bad enough, that is the entire contents of the Pennsylvania Treasury.
You carry the treasury wherever you go?
You don't think I'd leave it with those crooks in my government, do you?
Who says you can't take it with you?
All right, boys, you got a bet, but you're throwing your money away.
Who says?
I hope he's wrong and you're right, bad enough.
Oh, I am.
Because there's something else I always carry around with me.
A cheery smile?
No, my own firing squad.
Oh, boy. Natasha, we really got to make sure of this one.
Super Bowlwinkle Show will be right back.
Back in our hero's dormitory room.
Come on, Bowlwinkle, it's time we left for the game.
Just a sec, Rock. I'm still studying these new plays.
Why? The only play you know is the forward pass. Besides, you're not the quarterback.
No, I'm the all-back.
Fullback.
Yeah.
Oh, if our boys only knew, for at that moment, the Wasamata quarterback, Bob Waterbucket, was receiving a caller.
I don't wear a collar. My neck's too big.
Not a collar, a caller.
Oh,
Emergency telegram for Bob Waterbucket.
that's me.
Well, read it.
It's got long words in it.
Oh, very well. It says your aunt in a Zuzi fell down and broke her crown. You should rush right out there.
But I can't. I gotta call the big game.
In that case, here's another telegram. The president has just declared the national emergency. You're drafted.
I'll get a deferment. I gotta call the big game.
Oh, boy. In that case, here's my third and last emergency telegram.
Nothing can stop me from calling that game.
It's from a professional football team. They want to hire you for... You're not going to call the game?
Sure, I'm calling it off.
As a result of Waterbucket's sudden departure, Coach Rocky Canute had a tough decision to make.
Okay, Moose, you're quarterback.
Boo!
Oh, come on, fellas. Even the Moose should be able to beat a team of schoolgirls.
But as we know, the Mud City Manglers are only disguised as girls. Actually, they're a tough bunch of thugs and plug uglies.
But, Boris, suppose the moose remembers all the plays.
What plays? I got the only other copy of the diagrams here.
Then what was Moose studying?
The diagrams I substituted for them.
Which were?
For 3 weeks, the Moose has been studying battle plans for the Civil War.
Well, it looks as if the South may rise again. The teams lined up, and Wasamata kicked to the Manglers. Instantly, there was a huddle, and when it broke up, nobody appeared to have the ball.
Who we supposed to tackle?
Come on, which of you girls has the ball?
What do you think I am, a rat?
You got it, lady?
And before the astonished crowd, the Manglers strolled innocently down the field past the baffled Wasamata players. Then as they reached the goal line, one of the scoundrels pulled the deflated ball from under his midi blouse. Touchdown!
Now, wait, Mr. Referee. Did that really count 6 points?
But of course not, Rocky. It counted 7 points.
Well, with the referee intimidated, the Manglers had it all their own way.
Pass it, Bowlwinkle! Ollie!
Incomplete.
The pass?
The ball.
We're close enough to try a little field goal, Bowlwinkle. Just kick it between the goalposts.
Right, Rock. Hop.
The kick looked good until 2 Manglers moved the goalposts.
At this rate, we'll never win.
We'll be lucky to lose.
But on the next play...
Bowlwinkle, look at this.
Good heavens, Rock. You scalped the scatback.
Scout nothing. This is a wig. Bowlwinkle, they aren't girls at all.
Oh, darn.
What's the matter?
I was going to ask the halfback to the prom tonight.
At that moment, the referee raised his pistol to signify the end of the first half. When our heroes finally made it under fire to their dressing room, gloom was written on every face.
Except mine. I got despair written on mine.
If only they hadn't stolen our football plays.
Well, they left these in their place.
Bowlwinkle, you've done it again.
Come up with a brilliant plan and like that.
Yes, sir.
Now there's just that one little question.
Yeah?
What is it?
This is the plan.
And so when the whistle blew for the second half of the game, it was a strange-looking team that emerged from the Wasamata U dressing room. Things looked a little brighter for our boys when Rocky decided to play the game according to some old battle plans of the war between the states. But even this idea backfired when Bowlwinkle decided to take the plan seriously.
But Bowlwinkle...
Colonel Moose to you, Corporal.
Oh, boy.
What direction are we heading?
South?
You mean south?
Yeah, south. So what?
This here plan says we march north. North it is.
And with flags flying, Bowlwinkle began running toward his own goal line. Disaster was imminent, but as fate would have it, the clock suddenly marked the end of the quarter.
What's the trouble?
Now the teams change goals. Moose is now running in right direction.
Yes, at that moment, Bowlwinkle dashed into the end zone for a touchdown.
Hooray! That's 6 points!
But the referee, who was under some pressure, decided...
No, only 3 points.
3!
It's a handicap. After all, you're playing an all-girl team.
Bowlwinkle, we can't win.
That's the general idea, Squirrel.
And who are you?
I'm the leader of the all-girl team.
You are?
I'm the Phil Spitalny of the gridiron.
Yeah, but those aren't really girls.
I know that. You know that. But does the referee know that?
Do you know that?
All I know is this fella behind me has a gun aimed right at my 50-yard line.
Bowlwinkle, that fella's intimidating a referee.
Not very well. He doesn't look like one at all.
No, I mean he's threatening that poor little guy's life.
Well, that does it, Rock. Now my dandruff is up. Give me those battle plans. Ladies or no ladies, this is war.
And it was. In the next 10 minutes, what's the matter? You replayed the entire last 2 years of the Civil War. And this time, the South won. Yes, just before the final gun sounded, Rocky flashed into the clear and zoomed for the goal line.
Bowlwinkle, pass it to me. Ollie!
Oop! But the oop had come from Boris Badenov, who had thrown not a football, but a cleverly disguised rock.
Hokey smokes, that's not a football.
And Rocky swiftly zipped to one side. The heavy stone passed him and plummeted right for the timid referee, who still had a gun held at his back by one of Boris's thugs.
Duck! Duck!
Hey, what's he mean, duck, duck?
Maybe there's a flock of them coming over.
Hey, that ain't no flock of ducks. That's a rock.
But where's Bowlwinkle?
You called?
Yes, out of the pall and smoke and flame that covered the gridiron galloped Bowlwinkle Moose, the football dangling from his antlers.
Quick, Bowlwinkle! There's only a few seconds left.
Now, what do we do bad enough?
Relax, fearless leader.
Relax.
Shoo, Mike. Look at this diagram of the end zone.
What are the circles?
Landmines. I've mined the whole end zone.
Explosive landmines in a football field? Bad enough, that's a rotten thing to do.
I just knew you would like it, fearless leader.
Boris, I like to have you around. You're my kind of folks.
Could I call you FL?
I'm on my way up, Boris, and I'm going to take you with me.
But alas for the villain's plans, Bowlwinkle dashed into the end zone, turned and galloped all the way across it, and didn't step on one mine.
Touchdown!
Yay!
6 points!
What's the matter wins?
Yay!
So you had landmines in the end zone, eh? Bad enough?
I can't understand it, fearless leader. I could swear I had one right. You were right, fearless leader. You're on the way up, and I'm going with you.
And so, what's the matter? You finished its season unbeaten.
Knit one pearl two, knit two pearl one, knit one pearl two.
What are you doing, Bowlwinkle?
Studying for a test.
In what?
My toughest class, advanced crocheting. Knit one, knit two, pearl one, pearl two.
Yeah, but why so fast?
I'm cramming.